Recently, the British media has had a strong reaction to Lando Norris's performance, casting doubt on his potential to follow in the footsteps of legendary driver Lewis Hamilton. What once looked like a promising rise now seems less certain, with some critics suggesting he may not have the qualities needed to secure a world championship. Norris, who once seemed destined to bring the title home, faced scathing feedback after his last race. Even seasoned analysts, including Martin Brundle, weren't shy about expressing their doubts. Is Norris simply a good driver in a fast car? Or does he have what it takes to become one of the greats? The tension is high, and opinions are divided. The British media's shift in tone became clear after Norris's recent clash with Max Verstappen during the Brazilian Grand Prix. As Verstappen extended his lead, many publications began analyzing Norris's chances of catching up, highlighting the growing gap. For instance, BBC Sport, which had been supportive of Norris throughout the season, now focused on the math, calculating the exact points he would need to keep his championship dreams alive. However, Verstappen's dominant wet weather performance in Brazil left little room for optimism. BBC's recap admitted that Verstappen's fourth world championship was rarely in real jeopardy, while Norris's title ambitions seemed to fade in the rain. Similarly, the Daily Mail, known for its dramatic takes, wrote that Norris's dreams seemed to have slipped away on that wet track, going as far as to say that he was simply outclassed by Verstappen's skill. Other British outlets didn't hold back either. The Times critiqued Norris's performance, implying that he wasn't displaying the qualities of a champion just yet. They even depicted Verstappen as already having one hand on the championship trophy, signaling how close he was to sealing his victory. The article suggested that Norris's chances were rapidly diminishing, with calculations showing that Verstappen could secure the title in Las Vegas simply by finishing ahead of Norris. Meanwhile, The Sun ran a headline that described Norris's title aspirations as fading, pointing to a critical error Norris made at the race's start. As Verstappen's lead grew, these publications highlighted the mistakes Norris made, painting a picture of a driver not yet ready to take the crown. Collectively, the media appeared to have reached a consensus. Although mathematically possible, Norris's championship hopes seemed all but out of reach. The criticism didn't stop at print media. Even those covering the race live voiced disappointment, marking a notable shift as on-air analysts who once supported Norris were now questioning his abilities. British motorsport commentator Martin Brundle, known for his balanced views, weighed in on Norris's lack of what he called the killer instinct needed to compete against someone as aggressive as Verstappen. During a season where Norris was expected to close the gap, he instead seemed to fall behind, especially in wet conditions. Brundle mentioned that Norris may have blamed his difficulties on Verstappen's luck with timing during a red flag, but he suggested that if Norris rewatched the race, he might see things differently. Brundle emphasized that Verstappen's exceptional performance in challenging conditions put him in a league of his own. Although Norris showed promise during qualifying, Brundle noted that he struggled once the race intensified, proving he has more to learn if he's to challenge for the title. Brundle continued his analysis, pointing out that Norris did benefit from some fortunate circumstances in qualifying, as Verstappen was held back by a red flag. However, when it came to the main race, Verstappen anticipated potential disruptions like a safety car or another red flag and managed his strategy accordingly, ultimately pulling ahead to secure a nearly 20-second victory. Brundle described Verstappen's approach as a classic drive, showcasing his ability to excel even in unpredictable conditions. He acknowledged that Norris, at just 24, has shown flashes of brilliance, with significant wins in places like Singapore and the Netherlands. Yet, Brundle also believes Norris still has a long way to go when it comes to consistently handling the pressure of a title chase. Competing for the championship, he noted, brings an entirely different set of challenges. And it's an experience that Norris will need to learn from if he hopes to eventually claim the title. Brundle wrapped up his thoughts by suggesting that while Norris has made commendable progress, Verstappen's commanding start to the season, winning 7 of the first 10 races, created an almost insurmountable lead. Despite some moments of impressive performance, Norris has found it difficult to consistently close the gap. Even as Red Bull's form appeared to dip at times, Verstappen's early advantage proved too significant. Brundle speculated that for Norris to catch up, a combination of flawless performances and a series of unusual setbacks for Verstappen would be necessary. However, the recent race in Brazil seemed to underscore that this wasn't Norris's season. According to Brundle, while Norris and McLaren showed promise, It may be time to focus on learning from this season's challenges and aiming for an even stronger performance next year. As the season nears its end, British media outlets appear to share a similar verdict. While Norris has had a competitive car and some standout moments, he has also shown vulnerability under the weight of a full championship fight. Not everyone, however, sees it purely as a driver issue. McLaren's team principal, Andrea Stella, came to Norris's defense, stating that the team also bears responsibility for recent setbacks. In a race filled with unpredictable weather and high-pressure moments, an ill-timed pit stop before a safety car cost Norris valuable positions. Stella explained that the challenging conditions and strategic missteps compounded the difficulties for both Norris and his teammate, Oscar Piastri. By acknowledging these missteps, Stella suggested that the team as a whole needed to improve to give their drivers a better shot at success, even in the most difficult conditions. Stella didn't hold back in discussing the challenges McLaren faced, explaining that both Norris and Piastri struggled with tire grip in the rainy conditions. He highlighted that the issues extended beyond the drivers, acknowledging that the car's setup wasn't well suited for the unpredictable weather. This, he argued, placed extra strain on Norris, who found himself sliding off track, losing positions in the process. Stella pointed out that while it's easy to single out the driver, the reality is often more complex, with the team's decisions and car setup playing significant roles. He expressed pride in how far the team and Norris have come, reminding everyone that, despite recent setbacks, McLaren has shown significant progress throughout the season. Stella closed his remarks on an optimistic note, suggesting that if they don't secure the championship this year, they'll come back even stronger next season, armed with valuable lessons from this year's challenges. Stella went on to defend Norris's overall performance, countering claims that the young driver makes too many mistakes. When asked directly if Norris's errors are holding him back, Stella dismissed this notion, explaining that while the race in Brazil didn't go as planned, such events are part of the learning curve in Formula One. He praised Norris for his accomplishments, noting that his recent finishes in challenging races like Singapore and Zandvoort prove his potential. In Stella's view, these races show that Norris possesses both speed and skill. But like any driver aiming for a championship, he's still refining his abilities in high-stakes situations. With Red Bull maintaining a strong position this season, Stella acknowledged that catching up has been difficult, but he maintained confidence that Norris would emerge stronger from these experiences. He believes both Norris and McLaren are on the right trajectory to challenge for the title soon. The conversation then shifted to the future, as Stella shared his vision for Norris's growth and McLaren's prospects in the coming seasons. While Red Bull has been a dominant force this year, Stella emphasized that McLaren's rapid improvements suggest they're on the right path to narrowing the gap. He expressed optimism that Norris, equipped with his experiences from this season, will enter next year better prepared and more resilient. The Brazilian race might not have gone as hoped, but Stella argued that it provided crucial insights. Both driver and team, he noted, are continually learning and adapting to the demands of Formula One. Stella closed by assuring fans that the team isn't giving up. If anything, they're motivated to return even stronger, setting their sights on a championship run. He believes that with a few adjustments and continued hard work, Norris and McLaren have a genuine shot at taking on Red Bull and the top contenders in future seasons. As discussions about Norris's potential continue, many fans and analysts are left wondering if he can truly rise to the occasion. The challenges he faces are significant. Competing against a driver of Verstappen's caliber requires not just skill, but also an unwavering mindset and the ability to seize every opportunity. While Norris has showcased moments of brilliance, the pressure of a title fight has revealed areas where he needs to improve. Observers have noted that he must cultivate a stronger mental edge to battle effectively against someone like Verstappen, known for his fierce competitive nature. Critics argue that without this crucial element, Norris may find it hard to establish himself as a true contender for the championship. Nevertheless, there remains a sense of hope among his supporters, who believe that with the right adjustments and continued support from his team, Norris can develop the fortitude necessary to take on the challenges that lie ahead in Formula One. Looking ahead to the next season, fans are keen to see how Norris will apply the lessons learned from this year's campaign. The upcoming races present an opportunity for him to showcase not only his driving skills but also his capacity for growth under pressure. It's a critical period for both Norris and McLaren, as they must capitalize on the momentum gained from their recent performances. The team's development trajectory has been promising, and with ongoing enhancements to the car, They aim to provide Norris with the tools he needs to succeed. The challenge will be to maintain consistency and reduce errors. As these factors have proven pivotal in the world of competitive racing, observers are eager to witness whether Norris can harness his experiences and come back with a renewed focus. As he prepares for the next season, the hope is that he will emerge not just as a contender, but as a formidable rival capable of challenging for the championship title. In conclusion, Lando Norris stands at a crossroads in his career, with the media scrutiny highlighting both his potential and the areas needing improvement. While critics have raised doubts, it's important to remember that the journey to the top is rarely straightforward. Norris's talent is undeniable, and with the backing of McLaren, he has the foundation to develop into a true champion. The lessons learned from this season, especially in high-pressure situations, will be invaluable as he moves forward. As the racing world awaits the next chapter in his story, fans can only hope that Norris will harness his experiences, adapt, and return stronger than ever. The coming season holds great promise, and for Norris, it's a chance to prove his critics wrong and assert himself among the elite drivers in Formula One. With determination and support from his team, the dream of a championship title remains a possibility, waiting to be realized.